What's up guys, Jimbo here with another knife review for you today. Today we're going to be reviewing one of my favorite smaller Kershaw knives that I've had for about the past 3 months. And I've been carrying it off and on here and there in both primary and secondary EDC rolls. And just figured it was just about time to go ahead and get into the review. I figured I've carried it enough and know enough about it to give you guys as well-rounded of a opinion and review as I can. So today we've got the Kershaw OD-2, designed by the famous Mr. Lee Williams, who also designed the big brother to this little guy, the OD-1, which is significantly larger. So you can see this is not a very big knife. Fits in palm of my hand without issue. But let's go ahead and get into the specs here. Okay, the close length on this little guy comes in at 3 1/8 inches. The blade length comes in at 2 1/4 inches, giving an overall length of 5 1/4 inches. The weight is a practically non-existent 1.4 ounces. This is very, very, very light, even for its size. Blade material on it is the Chinese-made HCR 13 MOV, which is comparable to AUS 8 steel. It's a pretty good steel, especially for the money. Not the greatest at edge retention, but very, very easy to sharpen. The handle material is a glass-filled nylon, which kind of has a mild, almost G10-y texture to it, sorta. I like it. I think it suits the knife very well. It's not too smooth, not too grippy, kind of right in the middle, which I dig. I think that's pretty cool. Something new, something different. The pocket clip, stainless steel. As you can see, it's got the little Kershaw logo there. It is reversible left and right, so they did include you lefties on this, and it is tip up only. So my personal thoughts on that are rock on Kershaw. I'm a big tip up fan, and like I said, they did include you lefties on this. And personally, I feel that tip up really suits this knife, given the blade shape and the blade size. I think that's a very good marriage with the design. It's got a liner lock, which is actually not quite center, but actually pretty close. Locks up nice and solid each time, and it's actually very easy to disengage. Virtually no effort at all. The deployment on this guy is actually something rather unique. I've only seen this on 2 knives. Just this guy and the Kershaw OD-1, which is basically the exact same knife, just scaled up and a little bit larger. It does have a flipper, and as you guys know, Kershaw's famous for those, but the difference is the other flippers on the other Kershaw knives are integrated into the blade itself. Prime example would be on the Kershaw Chive. As you can see, that's the flipper right there. When you close it, it basically just tucks itself into the other side. However, that is not the case with Mr. OD-2 and its older brother, Mr. OD-1. Basically, without taking the knife apart to show you guys, the best way I can describe this blade is it's almost like kind of like a boot that swivels on a hinge, so that when you pull this back, the boot kind of shifts forward and it kicks the blade out like so. And as you can see, the flipper tucks itself away perfectly inside the liner, which I thought was really awesome. It's really well engineered and, in my opinion, a very intelligent design. As you can see, we got a backspacer there about not quite halfway up the back, about 1/3 of the way, which is cool. Gives a little bit of heft on the lower end, which I think is good. I feel it balances the knife pretty well. This is a flow-through design, at least partially, given the backspacer there. It is put together with Torx screws, so if you'd like to take the handle scales off and clean it, that should not be a problem. It is model 1770, patent pending, as stated on the blade there. The HCR 13 MOV, Lee Williams design. It does have an adjustable pivot screw, like virtually every Kershaw I've ever seen. And overall, it's a really kind of tight and compact package. This little guy it's good for, like I said, I've carried it in both primary and secondary EDC rolls, and I feel it does both functions very well. The blade design I really dig. It's almost like a penknife kind of design. I guess I'd call that a drop point, I guess, maybe kind of almost close to a hunter's point. It's kind of odd. Honestly, it almost reminds me of the Kershaw Leak blade shape. It's similar because it's almost a spear point, but not quite. But I think the blade design suits the handle very well. And if you look at the handle shape, that's almost like a leak. You know, it's kind of rounded out here at the top, and it gets kind of fatter at the bottom. As I'd mentioned in some of my previous videos, I really didn't care for how Kershaw's designs, where when you make the knife tip up, that there's just like a ridiculous amount of real estate sticking out of the top. Mr. Williams got it right with this one with respect to tip up. You have very, very little, basically just from here up. The knife sticking out of your pocket. It rides decently low, and it's a very comfortable ride in my opinion. So bravo, Mr. Williams. I think you've done an excellent job here. Very low price point on this guy. This is basically a $10 to $15 knife, depending on where you get it. Not expensive at all. And for the money, I'm pretty impressed. You know, this is one of those Kershaw knives that seems to be its actual worth, in my opinion, seems to be beyond its monetary value. So once again, bravo Kershaw and bravo Mr. Williams. All right, let's check out the lockup and deployment on this guy. Kershaw states that the deployment on this, that you need to flick your wrist to get it to deploy. I'm not sure where they're getting that, guys, because I've never had to do this, and you do not have to give this thing a lot of push to get the blade to go out. It's really, in my opinion, a marvel of pocket knife engineering, because it's so smooth and fluid with its design, where it's kind of like you're pushing this back, and little Mr., we'll call it Mr. Boot inside, is pushing the blade down, and it swivels out like so. So it's back, down, and it goes straight out. And as you can see, I'll hold my wrist perfectly still, guys, and you'll see the blade deploy without issue. I mean, that's totally static. I can even do it left-handed. There you go. I mean, no wrist flick at all on that one, guys. This little flipper is a really great design. I think it's awesome. You know, I was a little weary of this. I you know, noticed that it did not have speed safe, and I was like, oh, you know, is it really going to be fast? But Mr. Williams has designed this thing to open very quickly and very efficiently and with very minimal effort without assisted opening. There's no spring assist, there's no torsion bar, it's just basic physics here. Awesome stuff. The blade lockup, I am not detecting hardly any blade play at all. That is a pretty solid lockup. So excellent job on that one, Kershaw and Lee Williams. Okay, let's go ahead and show you guys some pocket carry here. So you can see there's Mr. OD-2. Just slides right in, no effort. And as you can see, it's a pretty low carry, guys. I mean, that's a pretty smart design as far as where they decided to put the pocket clip on this one. It's pretty small. And check this out. Right there in Mr. Fifth pocket, no problem. Let's give you a quick comparison as far as what the carry looks like. Put Mr. OD-2 in there, and we'll put Mr. Kershaw Chive next to it. As you can see, it's pretty close as far as what sticks out there. It's pretty close as far as the ride height is concerned. But the big difference, in my opinion, between this and this is you've only got one single option for the carry on this. It is right side tip down only. This is tip up, left or right. And this is like half the cost of this. So bravo, Kershaw. I think you guys did a great job on that one. So nice little low carry. It's so light you hardly even know that it's there. So excellent job. Alright, let's do some size comparisons here. There's Mr. OD-2. Put it next to its kind of cousin there, Mr. Kershaw Chive, Mr. Benchmade Mini Griptonian, favorite, definitely one of my favorites, and Mr. Spyderco Persistence. As you can see, the Chive and the OD-2 are virtually the same size. I mean, it's pretty darn close. Looks like it's just about the same blade size too. That's pretty damn close. So I would definitely put these in the same category and class of knife. That's pretty cool stuff. And let's compare it to Mr. Kershaw Leak. And in my opinion, it is. It's pretty close. If you look at them side by side, I think you can see the similarities. See, it's got kind of, this one's a little bit abrupt at the front, but it's got kind of that rounded head. Then it tapers back here, then it gets a little wider at the end. It's not quite the same thing. These are two different designer guys. This is Ken Onion, this is Lee Williams, but in the same ballpark, I would say. Pretty close. So, good stuff. Okay, a couple more quick size comparisons for you. As always, my standard go-to, Mr. Blackberry Tour. And a United States quarter. Alright, let's get a little front row seat on here. can see the handle scales there. I think you can see what I mean when it kind of resembles G10. A little bit different of a texture to it, but it's kind of like FRN trying to be G10, which is not a bad thing. Those are two of my favorite handle materials. See that pocket clip with the Kershaw logo there. I love the little ridge that they put here, simply because your middle finger goes right there and it lines up for the flipper, and shaka, there you go. It's the Kershaw logo. Model 1770, patent pending, ACR 13 MOV, Lee Williams design. See that liner lock there? Nice and easy to disengage, just folds right up. Look at that blade centering, guys. Not quite dead center, but that's pretty damn close. That fits in there really well. The tolerances on this thing are just impressive. You know, for a knife of this size and for the price point, you know, 10 to 15 bucks, that's incredible. Back spacer there. See the torque screws. Let me give you a little close-up of Mr. Flipper here. As you can see the bracket down there, and I think you can see what I mean by the boot. It's right in there. When you pull this back, rather, that little guy just goes down and kicks the blade on out. See if I can get it to show up on camera here. And my thumb kind of gets in the way there. But as you can see, the like I said, the flipper just tucks right in. When you look at it from the side, you can't even tell it's there. That's excellent, man. It's very logical and intuitive design. And my hat's off to you, Mr. Williams. This is an excellent job, sir. Alright, let's try a little cutting demo here. See how we do. Wow, look at that. Right through it. Holy crap. This is factory edge, guys. I have not sharpened or touched this up yet, and I've been carrying it off and on, like I said, for about 3 months. Just doing basic things like letter opening, box opening, you know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, cut some paracord with it, you know, just daily around the house tasks. And wow, Kershaw, your reputation holds up. Still the best factory edge that consistently on any knife I've ever seen. So rock on, guys. In conclusion, guys, I think the Kershaw OD-2 is an absolutely outstanding value at the price point of 10 to 15 bucks for just a little either primary or secondary EDC option. I think this little guy is great. It's kind of near the sweet spot for guys like me who like smaller to medium-sized knives. I normally like them a little bit bigger than this, but like I said, for a secondary EDC, man, this is awesome. You know, I would put this in my top 5 for secondary EDC, and definitely my top 5 for value, considering the amount of money that you pay for it. This is up there with the half ton, absolutely. So just for the tolerances, the ease of use, the feel in the hand, the blade, the way it cuts, you know, it's a great little almost spear point design. This thing is just great. Kershaw, you guys are on fire with creating high-value, low-cost knives. This is absolutely one of the successes that you guys have had with knives in that category. So I'd like to go ahead and thank everyone so much for watching. I sincerely appreciate all the new subscribers and comments, feedback I've been getting recently. Man, you guys are awesome. I'm absolutely going to give this one the MrJimbofox recommendation. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take this one step further and give this a must-buy. I really think that it's that great of a design, and for the money, you're not in this for a lot of bucks here, guys. It's not, you know, a huge investment, and I really think that once you try it, you're going to find it hard to believe that this knife is only 10 to 15 bucks. I think it's incredible. So again, thanks for watching, guys, and as always, stay fit, stay strong, stay supreme. Take care.